프로게이머 분들이 게임하는 거 보고 감명 깊게 봤나 봐요. 그래서 저거 나도 하고 싶다라는 생각이 들더라고요.
중학교 1학년 때 약간 취미로 스타원을 접하고 김정우 선수를 보면서 좀 되게 뭔가 프로게이머가 되게 멋있는 직업 같고 되게 꼭 한번 나도 저런 무대에 서보고 싶다라는 생각이 들어서 그때부터 본격적으로 게임을 하기 시작했어요.
사실 조언보다는 좀 반대를 많이 하셨죠. 학교도 약간 자퇴하고 가는 거잖아요. 그냥 좀 지나고 나니까 되게 좀 인정을 많이 해주시더라고요.
반대를 하셨는데도 이렇게 최고의 자리에 설 수 있으면 계속 해라라고 말씀하셔서 그리고 또 커리지 매치를 따고 난 뒤에는 되게 긍정적으로 많이 밀어주셨어요.
처음 숙소 들어갈 때는 약간 걱정 반 기대 반이 됐는데 이게 18살이다 보니까 그냥 아무것도 안 무서웠던 것 같아요. 그냥 겁 없이 생각 없이 그냥 제 마음대로 했던 것 같아요. 숙소 생활하면서 좀 그 꿈을 확실하게 잡은 것 같아요.
처음에는 저는 그냥 그 생활이 마냥 즐거워서 힘들다는 생각은 진짜 없었는데 근데 이게 시간이 지날수록 좀 확실히 부모님의 빈자리가 느껴져서 좀 힘들었던 것 같아요.
경쟁하는 그런 게 되게 심했어요. 여기서 진짜 열심히 안 하면 못 살아남겠구나라는 생각을 해서 되게 열심히 했던 것 같아요. 그냥 여기서 웬만한 노력해서는 경기를 못 나가고 또 성공하지 못하겠구나라고 생각을 했었어요.
랭킹전을 한번 했었는데 한 이틀 동안 전패를 했거든요. 이게 벽이란 걸 약간 느꼈어요. 프로들의 벽. 그 이후부터 그 벽을 깨기 위해서 되게 열심히 했던 것 같아요.
그냥 제가 원하는 일을 해보는 거잖아요. 제가 제 꿈이기도 했고 하고 싶어 했던 일을 하고 있고 즐기고 있다는 게 장점인 것 같고
게이머 생활하다 보니까 확실히 어린 나이에 사회에 나와서 또래들보다는 확실히 돈 번다거나 그런 부분에서 괜찮은 것 같고
막 힘들 때 막 SNS 같은 거 보면 친구들 놀러 간 사진이 올라오거든요. 그냥 그런 거 볼 때 좀 많이 힘들죠. 제 또래들은 다 놀고 어디 놀러 가고 그러는데 저는 못 놀러 가는 상황이니까 가끔은 뭐 생각 없이 그냥 놀고 싶은데 좀 제가 실수라도 할까 봐 항상 정신을 붙잡고 있는 것 같아요.
가끔 막 친구들 놀러 가는 거나 대학 생활하는 거 좀 보면 좀 많이 부럽기도 해요. 제 생활이 많이 없는 것 같아요. 단체 생활 항상 해야 되고 제 혼자만의 시간이 좀 많이 부족한 것 같아요.
아직도 좀 기억이 생생하게 나는데 그때 이제 되게 신기했던 게 처음 나가는데 긴장이 아예 안 되고 부담도 아예 없는 거예요. 거기서 게임하는 것 자체가 되게 즐거웠고 그래서 평소에 하던 것보다 몇 배로 좀 잘 나왔던 것 같아요, 실력이. 방송 연기는 처음이었으니까 아 이런 게 좀 방송 연기구나 이렇게 재밌는 거구나 라고 생각을 했던 것 같아요.
그때는 되게 와 재밌겠다 하고 방송 경기 이렇게 들어가도 안 질 것 같고 진짜 근본 없는 자신감이 넘치던 시절이었어요. 근데 이렇게 처음에 방송 경기도 하고 상대가 또 되게 경력이 오래된 선수여서 좀 쉽게 무너졌었어요. 그때 이후에 근데 되게 많이 깨달은 게 많았고 방송에서 꼭 한번 이겨보고 싶더라고요. 그래서 계속해서 열심히 게이머 생활했던 것 같아요.
아마 해체가 된다고 알려주시고 남은 선수들한테 좀 길을 되게 많이 터주셨어요. 사람들과 헤어진다는 그런 약간 슬픔도 되게 컸지만 되게 기대도 많이 했어요. SK에 간다니까. 원래 되게 어릴 때부터 좀 가고 싶었던 팀이어가지고 슬픔 반, 기대 반이었던 것 같아요.
그 시즌에 한 번에 이렇게 저희가 주전 선수들이 한 번에 확 빠져나갔었거든요. 진짜 생각지도 못한 이렇게 많은 출전 기회를 받게 되고 또 에이스라고 이렇게 불려지면서 주변에 부담감과 압박감이 좀 많이 심해서 그래서 프로리그에서 그렇게 못했던 것 같아요.
작년이 되게 힘들었던 게 생각했던 거에 비해서 성적도 안 나오고 그러니까 아 이렇게 해도 안 되면 그냥 그만할까라는 생각도 되게 많이 했었고
작년에 좀 진짜 힘들어서 그만둘까 하는 생각을 되게 많이 했었거든요. 실제로 많이 지기도 했었고 좀 여러 가지로 다 일들이 잘 안 풀려서
근데 그럴 때마다 이제 저를 좀 잡아주신 게 코칭 스태프분들이나 팬분들이 저를 잡아줘서 그냥 꿋꿋하게 더 했던 게 좀 좋은 성적을 낼 수 있었던 것 같아요.
그때 되게 잘 버텨와서 이렇게 그때 또 힘든 시간이 있었기 때문에 지금 이렇게 또 결승 올 수 있었던 것 같아요.
저는 게임을 시작할 때부터 있는 대회 다 우승이 목표였으니까 그리고 우승하고 나서도 그 다음날에 제가 우승한 건지도 잘 몰랐어요. 똑같은 일상으로 올라가서 그냥 딱히 달라진 건 없는 것 같아요. 그냥 더 열심히 해서 양대 우승을 해야겠다 약간 이런 생각을 했던 것 같아요.
1티어급 대회였고 규모도 되게 큰 대회여서 메이저 대회 첫 우승이라는 좀 큰 타이틀을 얻게 해줬던 것 같아요.
잘했다. 그냥 이제 우승했으니까 편하게 해라. 약간 스트레스 받지 말고 해라. 약간 이런 식으로 얘기하시죠. 저희 아빠가 그 자리에 앉아서 못 봤대요. 그냥 제일 뒤쪽에서 계속 보면서 초조해 하시고 그랬다는데 좀 그걸 듣고 나서 좀 색달랐죠. 그냥 아빠가 평소에 표현하는 스타일이 아니어서 그냥 그렇게까지 저를 응원해 주시는지도 몰랐고.
해외에서만 너무 성적이 좋다 보니까 국내 대회에서 좀 성적이 좋고 싶다는 되게 간절함이 되게 많이 커져서 그 간절함이 이렇게 저를 결승까지 이렇게 오게 할 수 있었던 것 같아요.
그 2회 우승은 뭐 누구나 다 할 수 있다고 생각을 하는데 2회 연속 우승이잖아요. 그래서 그냥 기세를 계속 끌고 가고 있다. 폼을 계속 유지하고 있다. 자존심을 계속 지키고 있다. 약간 이런 거.
그때는 진짜 이렇게 바라만 보던 진짜 그런 아무것도 모르던 뽕화 강민수가 게이머가 돼서 오늘 이렇게 그런 꿈에 그리던 이렇게 무대에 제가 오르게 되는데 감회가 진짜 새롭고 그 열기를 제가 아직도 잊을 수 없는데 그때처럼 사람이 꼭 많이 와서 제가 그 게임하는 입장에서 한번 그 열기를 느껴보고 싶어요.
여러 가지 심정이 섞여 있을 것 같은데 기회이기도 하고 되게 즐거울 것 같아요. 즐겁기도 하고 복잡 미묘할 것 같아요. 그때 지금 심정을 생각하면.
돌아본다면 그냥 약간 그런 느낌일 것 같아요. 한 여름밤의 꿈 같은 그냥 그렇게 너무 즐겁고 행복했던 그런 생활들.
그냥 저는 좀 우승을 하고 나서 목표에 다가가기 위한 출발점이라고 생각했기 때문에 지금 이제 계속 걸어 나가는 중이죠.
나는 이렇게 해봤다라는 뭔가 되게 뿌듯함, 당당함. 내가 그래도 프로게이머로서 이렇게 개인 리그 우승을 해봤어라는 당당함이 있을 것 같아요. 제 커리어에 이렇게 국내 리그 우승이 추가되면서 제가 되게 자부심이 되게 커질 것 같아요.
약간은 비슷한데 게이머를 시작하기 전에는 스타가 없어도 됐지만
제가 유일하게 안 질리고 할 수 있는 그런 놀이였고 그 전에는 게이머 지망을 하면서는 제가 너무 좋아서 미쳐버리는 정도의 저의 삶의 이유였고
지금은 이제 저랑 약간 너무 뭐라 해야 되지? 스타가 없으면 제가 없는 거니까 그런 것만 좀 바뀐 것 같아요.
이제 그 이후에는 제가 이렇게 꿈을 계속 꿀 수 있게 해주는 매개체인 것 같아요. 제가 계속 이렇게 열심히 살아야 되는 약간 이유 같은?
The swarm conquers all. We are without limit. No time like the present.
Welcome everybody to the SSL finals here at the KBS Sports World Gymnasium number 2. I'm here with Wolf. I am Valdez. We got a ton of people coming down to this gymnasium to watch a fantastic finals. It's going to be Dark versus Solar, a ZVZ.
Yeah, and I am super hyped for this. I mean, I know Zerg versus Zerg is not the matchup people want to see, but this is not a Zerg versus Zerg. This is a Dark versus Solar, and that's really the story here. What these players have been through, the championship titles they've earned, where they've earned them, where they came from. As pro gamers, we saw videos earlier, Dark, the ex-Slayers player who had to move into SKT, and he said, you know, this is a huge opportunity. It's a team I wanted to be in ever since I was a kid, but it was sad to leave my friends, Boxer, the guy who mentored me, behind. It's a very sad story. He is the defending champion, though, and he has to defend his honor today, whereas Solar is looking for his first domestic title, his first Star League. Yes, he's won DreamHacks, but that is not as prestigious as winning a Korean StarCraft tournament.
You can hear it in his voice, right? He wants this so badly. He is the big underdog, though, coming into this one against Stark, as you said, the defending champion and one of the best players of our time in StarCraft 2. He's got to take down a Titan, but I think he could do it today. You know, he is the underdog, but it's ZVZ, right? Anything could happen. It's a best of 7. Solar ZVZ is quite good. It's Dark's, I'd say it's his worst matchup if I had to say myself. And, you know, it's on the big stage. It's a final. Anything can happen. As we always do say, here we are in the gymnasium wearing our salmon ties.
That's right.
Team Salmon is back.
Team Salmon. It's great to be down here at this amazing venue. You know, when I saw the pictures, I thought, wow, this looks pretty big. Not entirely sure how it's going to look, you know, when we get here, but it is a huge gymnasium. There's a lot of people you can see behind us. Obviously, there's more people here than you can really even see in the camera shot. As you guys can see here, a better shot perhaps. And the atmosphere is awesome. Everyone is super hyped for this.
Yeah, I love the lighting we got going on even. We go on camera, it looks like we're floating in heaven. And that's kind of what it feels like, you know? Every time we come down to a finals, it's such an amazing experience. and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. As we do have the intros coming on in here, you can see Tabletman actually in the audience. There he is.
That's right. And this is the 5th Star League that we've had here at SPO Games. I know there have been 29 GSLs. I know this is only the 5th one of this tournament, but we're getting there, you know? Well, this is a big moment here. It is the final Star League of the year. GSL ended yesterday. An amazing final. Definitely go back and watch it if you missed it. But this is really going to be the last major Korean tournament for the year for StarCraft as we transition into focusing on WCS points and BlizzCon.
Yeah, so we are going to go into our player introductions right now. Let's go ahead and do that.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the StarCraft 2 Star League 2016 Season 2 Grand Finals. We are here in the KBS Sports World Gymnasium number 2 in Seoul, South Korea, with the fans from all over the world. It's time to introduce our players. Please welcome the defending SSL champion, fighting for unprecedented back-to-back championships. One of the best Zerg players of all time, Dark 박영우!
There you have it, guys. Dark walking down the stairs like the beast he is. Of course, we do have Rapid introducing our players there on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about this guy's career. You know, his first big accomplishment was winning the Season 1 Casper Cup last year, but then he won Star League Season 1. Now in Season 2, he's looking to defend his title. He's been a pro gamer for many years now. He's matured a lot. His style has come into its own, and he is the big favorite massively tonight in this ZBZ Finals.
He definitely is. He's up there on stage. You can see the amount of confidence he carries himself with.
Looking to reach the highest point of his career, dreaming of becoming our Star League champion, Solar 강민수!
드디어 왔어요. 드디어 왔습니다.
There he is. One of our best Zerg players we have in Korea, making it to the finals in a time where players were saying, fans were saying, you know, that Zerg is underpowered. They can't win, they can't go to finals. And Solar was one of the mid-tier Zergs, I think, at that time. But he made it all the way to the grand finals to face Dark here. And it's a very impressive feat.
Yeah, I mean, he was taking down Protosses left and right. He 3-0'd Deer. He made it look really easy against Patience as well. Now he's got to play in a different matchup on a really big stage. And you could hear before just how passionate about this, how much he wants this domestic win.
Yeah, and you could see the fans for him as well. You know, again, he is the underdog, but I feel like that creates this extra level of tension with the fans. We saw this yesterday with Bjorn versus SOS. He was the fan favorite, but most analysts said SOS takes this easy. And, you know, it was just a very amazing final we had. Now, it would be almost a Cinderella story to see Solar win tonight. And it's absolutely possible. Dark, again, the big favorite. And Solar is not, you know, unknown to these tournaments. He's been to finals before.
Yeah. Guys, we are going to jump into the player interviews now on the stage and see what they have to say going into this finals. It's talking about who's going to be the final Zerg. Dark infects all. Infectious love. How do you feel, Dark, coming into the finals? Dark says, I'm excited. I'm not nervous at all. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, Solar, you've had a lot of disappointments last season. How do you feel now? Solar saying, I was really disappointed. But I'm really glad to be back, and I'm ready to take this finals.
Yeah, last season he was so close. It was right in front of him, and he just wasn't quite able to take it, wasn't able to make that finals last season. So talking about the significance for his victory, if he wins, it will be the first back-to-back championship win, and that, of course, refers to only SPO-TV Star Leagues. And Dark says, I don't feel any pressure, not even up until now, and I'm really looking forward to this. That's how I feel right now. So it's a Zerg versus Zerg. We're going to find out which one's the last one standing. What do you feel about that dynamic? As he will essentially be crowned best Zerg in the world. Well, he finds it questionable because he says he is the only Zerg, the one and only. Doesn't even recognize Solar's existence.
Very confident words. What score do you think it's going to be tonight? Dark says 4-0. No surprise. Cocky and confident as ever is Dark. And he should be. Any final words you want to give to Solar before the match? Sorry, Solar. I'm going to take this one.
What you really want to say is you should just go home right now. Okay, so we'll hear what Solar said. He said it was a God-given opportunity in his interview. So looking back at some landmarks in his career, obviously talking about as a member of Samsung Galaxy specifically, how do you feel coming into this match? I feel like it's taken way too long for me to make it to the finals here. Look how long it's taken. And I think I'm going to make it now. I see a Polish fan there, writes in Korean, Samsung fighting. There are fans here from all over the world, as Rapid said. So you guys played against each other last season in the winners finals. So you have history. And Solar says, and that was actually a heartbreaking loss. And I never thought I'd be able to return to a final stage like this. So this time, I want to show them everything that I could do. This time is when it really counts. So when it asked about the ZVZ dynamic specifically, so Solar just said, you know, Dark claims he's the one and only Zerg, but tonight that will change. When he asked about the Solar predicts, I would like to have a pretty fierce match. I'm feeling a little bit tired. 4-0, so the same prediction.
Well, when your opponent says 4-0, you should probably follow it up with your own 4-0.
Yeah.
You don't want to seem weaker than your opponents.
No,
Got to win the
definitely not.
mental battle in the interview.
That's right. That's actually a very important thing.
So here we go. We're about to start the official introduction. Here we go, guys. It's going to be Dark versus Solar, going head-to-head on the biggest stage we got here at KBS Sports World.
There's so many people here. Everybody is ready. And the best Zerg in the world will be decided tonight at the Star League Grand Finals. And tell your friends to get into this one, especially if you've got some Zerg friends back at home, as this is going to be the highest level ZVZ. By the way, I know people have jokingly called ZVZ the worst mirror matchup, but you know what? It's the rarest matchup right now in Korea, so it's a really big treat to not only see a Zerg versus Zerg at all, because the last televised match was weeks ago for Zerg versus Zerg, but to see a Zerg versus Zerg that is at the highest level. This is a grand finals best of 7 between the two best Zergs in the world right now. So you really gotta to take this all in.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about the amount of Zergs we have here in Korea that are top level. These two Zergs, they were the only two Zergs in the round of 16 of the SSL, okay? The only two Zergs made it from the opposite sides of the bracket and made it to the finals. That's insane. Like, the chances of that happening are just so low. And both these players just really stepped it up. I feel like they I wouldn't say they got lucky, especially Dark with his matchups. You have to face TY and Classic, two amazing players that definitely could be on the stage standing here next to Solar.
Yeah.
But, you know, Solar, you know, he got so many ZVPs, and that's his best matchup, and he was crushing Burdos's left and right. Is he going to be able to take out Dark in a ZVZ?
That's the
I'm not
question,
sure.
right? And we'll see. I think in this matchup, there's a lot of mind games. People have referred to this matchup as like a knife fight because it's so micro-intensive. It's so, everything you do, you have to make at light speed. Every decision has to be made instantaneously. How many drones you're going to make, how many larvae, how many lings you commit to. Do you cancel your hatchery? Do you try to save it? Can you get your queens to block the ramp at that exact right moment? This matchup is the fastest matchup. It's the speediest matchup. And that's kind of what this Zerg versus Zerg is all about.
Yeah, guys, we're going to go into another video here, taking a look back at SSL season number 2. So let's check that out right now.
일단 우승이요. 우승이 제일 하고 싶어요.
하시면 새롭게 시대를 엽니다. 우승자는 박영호입니다.
저는 항상 생각했던 게 첫 우승을 하면 그냥 그때부터 진짜 이제 프로게이머로서의 인생이 시작된다고 생각하는 것 같아요.
스타리그 2016 시즌2 조지명식으로 인사드리도록 하겠습니다. 펄스의 우승자 박영호 선수입니다.
저는 솔직히 16강이 가장 큰 고비라고 생각하고 이 고비를 쉽게 넘겨서 꼭 이번 시즌은 양대 우승할 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
야, 박영호 선수가 확실한 초대 우승자 맞네요. 주성아 앞전면 주성호 선수가 승자전에서 1승 먼저 챙깁니다. 16경기에요. 이러면 박영호 선수의 공격 본능. 박영호 선수가 8강에 진출합니다.
오늘 경기하면서 좀 알게 된 것 같아요. 여기는 내가 있을 곳이 아니다. 좀 높은 무대가 제 무대인 것 같아요.
오늘 이김으로써 자신감이 많이 생겼다. 이번 시즌도 우승할 수 있을 것 같다. 태양은 언제나 지기 마련이죠.
어떻게 해서든 팀을 만들어야 됩니다. 박영호 선수가 4강 진출합니다.
호우 형이 게이머를 오래 해서 그런지 약간 노련한 게 있어서 아마 4강은 좀 힘들 것 같다.
같은 팀의 팀원을 잡아야 되는 숙명을 짊어진 두 선수의 대결입니다. 치열한 경기에 3대3 나왔습니다. 공격할 승으로 박영호 선수가 결승 진출합니다.
사실 중간에 좀 포기할까라는 생각도 했었어요. 이번에 결승 가긴 진짜 힘들겠다라고 생각했는데 이렇게 올라가게 돼서 정말 기쁜 것 같아요.
정말 힘들었지만 지금은 정말 자신감이 넘친다. 이번 시즌2도 내가 우승할 것 같다.
저는 진짜 이게 그냥 게이머 생활로 다시는 오지 않는 기회라고 생각하고 있어요.
뚫리겠는데요. 분명히 걸어옵니다. 와 이거 막아냅니다. 김대현. 넉슬로 강민수.
Black and blue. I don't know why I was brought to life, but I swear that I'm
보호 형이 또 할만할 것 같기도 하고 좀 KT한테 좀 미안하긴 한데
예.
그래도 좀 어쩔 수 없었던 것 같아요.
조가 쉬운 만큼 또 연습도 많이 해서 올라가야 될 것 같아요. 저번 시즌 3등이었으니까 이번엔 꼭 결승 진출할 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
자, 그리고 강민수 선수의 병력은 이미 단도했고 백도크 올라갑니다. 강민수 선수가 기분 좋게 승자전을 먼저 올라갑니다. 야, 너무 많아요. 포카 자, 들어가죠. 강민수 선수가 8강 진출합니다.
제가 그래도 박영호 선수와 함께 남은 적으로서 최선을 다하고 있고, 그리고 진짜 다른 저그 선수들도 좀 방송에서 좀 많이 지시긴 하는데 다들 되게 열심히 노력하고 있어요. 그래서 선수들의 노력을 좀 알아주셨으면 좋겠고.
8강에서는 팀피를 하게 됐는데 좀 좋은 경기력으로 3대0으로 꼭 이기고 싶다. 8강 이어서 이번에는 꼭 결승에 가보고 싶다.
팀킬일수록 더욱더 집중을 해야 됩니다. 무기선 치겠습니다. 빠르게 올라갔습니다. 강민 선수가 4강 진출합니다.
이번 스타리가 진짜 신이 주신 기회인 것 같다. 이번에는 꼭 새로운 도전인 결승까지 꼭 올라갈 수 있도록 열심히 해야 될 것 같다. 결승에서 더 기대하실 수 있게 좀 압도적인 모습 보여드리기 위해서 열심히 준비하겠습니다.
자, 맹독충 들어가는 거 사도 상대가 잘안 터지고 있어요. 그래도 막을 수가 있나요? 강민수 선수가 박영호 선수를 만나기 위해서 올라갑니다.
일단 프로게이머가 된 지 지금 한 4년 조금 넘었는데 국내 리그 결승에 오게 돼서 너무 좋고, 그동안 진짜 많이 힘들었고 좀 그만두고 싶을 때가 많았는데 꿋꿋이 잘 버틴 것 같아요 지금까지.
앞으로 다가올 결승전이 너무 기대된다. 연습을 앞으로 진짜 열심히 해야 될 것 같고, 상대도 너무 강력해서 솔직히 쉽지 않은 승부가 될 것 같은데 그래도 열심히 해서 꼭 우승하는 모습 보여주고 싶다. 화이팅!
So there you have it, guys. Both of those players, how they got to this place, to this arena, to these finals. And they're going to have to go head-to-head now as the only two Zergs that were in the round of 16 of the SSL Season 2. It's going to be a knife fight, as you were saying. I think it's going to be a very close match. Someone asked me before, I actually predicted Dark 4-2. But it definitely could go either way, and it could, it could be like a 4-3. That wouldn't even surprise me as well.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me, even if Solar wins Game 1, that it's a 4-0 for Solar, because this matchup is so psychological. Imagine you get early pulled while you go for a hatch first, and then the next game, you're thinking, okay, there's no way he does that twice. You go super greedy in the second game, and then he does that again. And then in the third game, you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm 2 games away from losing the grand finals.
Yeah,
he won't do it a third time.
2 build order losses, and you're going crazy in the booth because you don't know what to do.
And then in the third game, you play safe, but he plays greedy. And you're like, I'm already behind from the beginning of this game. And that's kind of how Zerg versus Zerg goes. There's a lot of mind games, there's a lot of build order choices that can really throw your opponent off. There's no way to scout in the early game. There's no way to know what's coming your way. You have to make a choice and then either commit to it in the case of the aggressor, or the defender needs to defend. And we have seen miracle holds before, but sometimes build orders, when they collide, one player gets such a massive advantage that it's hard to recover, or sometimes impossible, just based on builds alone.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, you think about those different build order losses. This is really one of the only matchups where something like that can happen, So it's really, really rough, as you were saying, a big mental game going, especially into a best of 7, because, it's a really drawn out series. You have to prepare, certain builds for certain maps, right? Maybe you go for a crazy all-in on a really long map because you won't expect it, and or maybe you decide to play that one greedy and hope that he doesn't do something crazy. It's kind of like, are you going to play the gentleman's game, or is this going to go absolutely nuts, from the get-go? And now, I think Solar should be trying to play that game, that mental game, for sure.
I want to point out that, or the graphic will point it out for me, I'll explain this to you guys. In total best of series, these two are tied 3-3. And that is kind of crazy, including 2 Pro League matches that you guys see are listed as well. They're just best of 1s, but in best of 3s and best of 7s, mean, these guys are neck and neck. Whoever wins today is the best Zerg player in the world, a champion, but also of these two, the better player. It's proven. This is the, really the tiebreaker, if you will. Overall, in overall sets, Dark does have the better ratio, mostly because of his wins in these best of series. It's obviously going to start to tilt in his favor. But, Solar's not too far behind. These were all close series overall. And it's just, again, going back to, I know Dark is the big favorite, but in Zerg versus Zerg, anything can happen. Yeah. And Solar can absolutely take this series. It would be a great story. But Dark looks very confident tonight.
The other thing about this is that, you were talking about it before, there's not a lot of Zergs that, that play, so you don't get to see that much ZVZ. So what is the current meta? Who are these players practicing with? What are they going to have prepared? And, even outside of that, it's going to be really crazy. Let's get into the map list here.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Okay, so you can already see Solar is looking towards Galactic Process and Apotheosis towards the top of his list. On the other side of things, Dark puts that at the bottom. This means Solar's trying to catch him off guard, saying, okay, he'll probably deprioritize these as well. He's probably thinking, oh, I don't want to play these maps. They're not really that popular. We don't play them in other leagues. He's probably been focusing on Pro League as well. His team made it to the playoffs. They almost made finals. And so Solar is trying to prepare special tactics on these two maps, Galactic Process and Apotheosis, trying to push them up in this, basically what the Koreans call ban pick, even though it's really just a draft. There are no bans because it's a best of 7. So what we're seeing is some cool strategy from Solar already.
I hope that Solar's been talking to White Rob about those special tactics, because I think he's going to need some here in this series. But on the other hand, Dark can get a little bit funky too. Keep in mind his teammate, another Zerg, is Sue, another guy who will just go into a best of 7, he'll do anything. And that actually makes you a better player. If you can come into a best of 7 and mix up your style for every different map, or you have a different idea and you want to catch your opponent off guard, if you're good at both styles, that actually makes you like a complete player. So Dark, definitely one of those types of players, and Solar is as well.
All right, let's take a look at this guy's results. Kesma Cup, Season 1, second place. Season 2, second place. Wins SSL Season 1 and gets second in the cross finals. Season 1 of those 4, by far the biggest accomplishment, and that's what he's defending today. You can see how he got here. Trust, Zest, these players in the round of 16, but beating Classic in the round of 4, that is the hardest thing. He went through Zest as well, Zest is not in perfect form now, but he was at the beginning of the season.
Yep.
And he had a much harder road than his opponent, who had arguably one of the easiest roads you've ever had to a Star League Finals.
Yeah, very, very true. And that series, by the way, the ZVP between Dark and Classic was insane. Definitely go back and watch that on another day. But as you were saying, let's take a look at his road here. Super 2-1, Beyond 2-1, Deer 3-0, and then Patience 4-1. So, Deer and Patience, not the best. They're not TY and Classic, right? They're great players, but they're not quite the same caliber.
Yeah, definitely true. Defeating Beyond, pretty impressive. The current defending GSL champion, so that was a big result there. And Beyond ended up not getting knocked out by Classic as well, so didn't make it as far in this tournament. It's another one of the cool dynamics we have here in Korea with 2 leagues, because you can't win both all the time. Does that mean that if Solar wins this, he's better than Beyond? No, but that's what the cross final is for, which is going to happen at a later date. So get hyped for that. I know a lot of you guys are going at home like, oh my God, I forgot cross finals is going to happen again. Yes, there's a second season of cross finals, and we will be hosting it this time at SPO TV. So we're going to have the winner of this, and of course Beyond, and really all 4 players in that involved together. All right, it's time for game number 1. We're starting things off with Frozen Temple, one of Solar's worst maps actually overall in win rate. He's 1-5.
Yeah, and it's funny that he picked it first. We got to look at his order and what he wanted. He actually picked Frozen Temple first, so I'm not sure if he's aware of his win rate here, but he seems to be comfortable on this map. Dark picked Frozen Temple 3rd, so he also does favor this map. He's got a decent record on this one. He's 4-5. This is going to be fun. We're gonna jump right into game number 1. We're finally getting ready to start things up here, Wolf.
Yeah, we are. Looks like everyone is ready. The players are set as well. We're going to go into game number 1 on Frozen Temple here at the SSL Season 2 Grand Finals.
내가
이제 내가
챔피언이다.
Here we go, guys. Game number 1 of the SSL Grand Finals here for Season 2. Down in the bottom right, in the red, the Zerg player from SK Telecom, T1. It is Dark.
There we go. And to the top left in blue, his opponent for Samsung Galaxy Con, it is Solar. The massive underdog here in this series. And we'll see if he can get through tonight and win his very first, domestic title, his first Star League. And it looks like we're going to have similar pool openings here, Valdez. No build order advantages in this very first game. Both players kind of playing it cool, playing it safe.
Kind of interesting, too, because Frozen Temple, I think it is the smallest map in the pool right now in terms of rush distance, and it's a 2-player map, so if you wanted to start off with the crazy kind of all-in, this might have been the map to do it on, but both players, kind of going against the grain in a way. I'm not saying that it's standard to all-in, but it's like both these players could have chose to do that, but they did not. And kind of interesting, it definitely plays into those mind games we were talking about.
Sure. Just one drone variation here. Dark went an extra drone. Solar went for 2 extra lings. The timing before the pool as well as that extra drone. So almost dead even when it comes to builders. However, you'll notice that Solar is not getting metabolic boost for his Zerglings. He's saving a lot of gas. In fact, he's banked 200 gas at this moment in time. Now, what he decides to do with that, we don't know yet. But it's definitely a tech build here, obviously, that he is planning. And he has pulled several out of gas now. And will start a very fast lair, super fast. 2 minutes and 45 seconds into this game. This is a tech build he's chosen on this map. The map, as you mentioned before, is worst win rate, so he must have a plan here.
Yeah, I have to wonder who Solar was practicing with as well. I mean, he's got some Zergs on his team, but no, huge names, right? Whereas Dark, he's got Sue back in the house, can talk strategy with him, go over that. But if you look at Dark's build as well, he is actually getting a decently fast lair here as well, and he's going for a Roach Warren and a lot of lings now, so it looks like he wants to put on some pressure here.
Yeah, heavy pressure. I think this is mostly just, let's see how many he commits to, but with the lair behind this, it's not going to be an all-in. He just wants to deny a third base and, force Solar himself to make lings instead of drones, and if he was too greedy, I mean, he could potentially win the game right here. Not going to be the case. There is a tight wall, and he's making a spine. And we will see if this works out. He's actually making a spore. Looks like he just wants to tight wall that. It's not going to be helpful to stop this ling drop, but he can, of course, just keep getting those roaches out. The thing is, he's making roaches instead of lings. He's relying on this wall, but he's a bit too late. And this is going to be, I think, perhaps more lings than he can handle so far here.
There's going to be a ton of lings into the main. Is Dark going to commit to it? There's only 2 roaches out now. A couple more do pop out, but he gets a nice surround here. Really nice morph into the Ravagers. He looks like he is going to lose that Queen, though.
Yep, the Queen will go, and the Ravager will pop with full health. Actually cancels it. Doesn't want it, in fact. Just wanted to buy some time there with that morph you were talking about. Spore is canceled, and it's a solid hold. Just barely had enough roaches out there, and Dark did not commit all lings to the drop. He split them in 2, couldn't break through the front. Is now going to take a third base. So this is not all in. It was a big commitment. But when the dust settles, Dark, because he followed up with drones, is actually ahead in drones and also has a third base much faster. Both players having a lair. The advantage Solar has obviously is twofold. It's in his roach count and his faster roach speed. So he's going to have a slight tech advantage here for a brief period of time, but things should even out.
He's going to hit this timing, though. I mean, he's got so many roaches. It's 13-3 right now, and Dark is going for this third. And on a map like this, I said it before, the rush distance very, very small. Dark does see some of these roaches coming over. Doesn't see quite all of them just yet. You do see both players just really trying to pump out roaches. And I'm kind of surprised. Okay, here Solar comes.
Okay, he's going to come over here, Dark is, and kill the drone even with a cancel there. The drone unable to escape. But here comes the push, a little bit delayed, as you mentioned. So Dark now has 12 roaches out. The speed is not done yet for Dark either, so it's going to be harder for him to micro. It's almost finished, 6 seconds to go. He does have the defender's advantage here, and a Queen to help transfuse. Lings come in for the surround as well, and Solar, can he break through? It looks like he will have to retreat.
Not going to be able to break through here. A lot of weakened roaches here for Dark, but as you were saying, that defensive advantage helping him out so much. 3 more roaches do pop here, and Dark very confidently going to push Solar away.
And it's so huge that Dark was able to get that cancel on Solar's hatchery. So, I mean, this is how it is. It's the victory of Queens there, is asking. Well, Queens definitely helped in that fight, that's for sure. He was waiting. He's like, I hope a queen changes the game so I can use this sign.
Yeah, cameramen were on that one as well. Good job, guys.
So fast +2 here, coming out for Solar. He's trying to play the late game, but he lost that fight. Now, Dark can see with this Overseer the roach count, so he knows, when it's favorable to engage.
Yeah, he definitely should not go up that ramp here. One of the things about Frozen Temple is that your opponent can get a nice concave.
If
but it
they
looks
do
like
it,
he has more roaches, so he's going to be confident to push up here.
And also the concave you talked about, Solar did not make it, so he's just going to have the better roach numbers here at this moment in time. The Overseer was there. He saw he had the better count, and he's going for this fight here. Defender's advantage not working out as well for Solar. He doesn't have those links. He doesn't have a queen here. And Dark is going to get an incredible trade. Don't forget, he already has a third base up, and this may just be too much damage. Drones here caught in the crossfire as well. And he's just going to target them down.
Can easily just rotate over to this third base. He's got reinforcements coming across. Trickling roaches are coming out right now for Solar. He needs to group up and mount a defense, but he can barely even do that at this point.
Yeah, he is really in trouble. He can't mine from a third base. He had a bad trade with the roach fight, and now he's losing even more in bad
trades. And the positioning as well, getting stuck there behind the queen. The reinforcements coming across from Dark, and that just might be too much.
I think it is. Here come the reinforcements. He's just fighting with them. They're trickling across the map here. Solar hoping to get that defender's advantage to fight back, but it won't happen here. GG, Dark takes game number 1. And look, I talked about this in the past. I'll say it again. I say it every time we cast the finals. Winning the first game is like in Korea, about an 80% to 85% chance win rate of grand finals in Korean Star League since Brood War. So